Palmistry reading of a female whose age is 34. We are reading her hand. We would be reading the left as well as the right hand. Both hands are important, so that is the reason why we should give importance to both the hands. It is normally said that for females we should look at the left hand, and for males we should look at the right hand. But in my case, what I do is that I try to read both the hands to arrive at the conclusion. And in general, women who are working, I give more importance to the right hand. But because both hands generally show similarity, so it doesn't matter much if we are reading the left hand or the right hand. The outcome is likely to be the same. There could be few dissimilarities, so it doesn't matter if there are few dissimilarities, but we have to concentrate on the main lines. So first we would be talking about the headline. This is the line of head. In her case, it's a very long line. Compared to the left hand, in comparison, you would find that the headline is a little bit shorter out here in the left hand. So a long headline makes a person very headstrong kind of a person. And when the headline is very straight, it is not leaning downwards. So what it basically means is, when it ends on the area of Mars positive area, it gives that particular person coolness, calmness, and tenacity. Like, tenacity means in spite of opposition, the person would still be standing against all odds. So, and the person is a highly practical kind of a person when the headline is very straight. Now we take a look at the money line. This is the line of money. Any line moving towards the second finger is the money line. So this intersection out here is age 35 of the head and the money line. The intersection of the heart and the money line is age 53. So I'm just going to remove all these things. So this portion of the money line is age 35, before the age of 35. This is 35 till the age of 53, and this is 53 and beyond. So let us remove so that you can actually see what kind of lines that you have. You would notice that the money line is kind of coming and ending on the line of head. So this is the line of head. It is ending out here. New lines are developing, but when there is a break on the line of head, we are talking about a break on the line of head. The money line is breaking on the line of head. It has got three meanings. The first, it need not be all these three things are going to get applied, but one of them may get applied. So when the money line is breaking on the line of head, it basically signifies job loss, work loss, business loss. The first thing. The second thing could be the main earning member of the family, their health or wealth goes down. The third possibility could be that one's personal life can get disturbed due to a break on the line of money, due to the break on the line of money. So this is what it could mean. Then the reason that, the thing is that generally people think that love life is seen on the attachment line or the heart line, or this particular area on the area of Mount of Venus. But my take is that we can look at all possible things on all possible lines. Like, even on the money line, we are trying to look at the relationship. On the line of heart, we could also look at the relationship as well as the money part. So it's each and every line can talk about each and every other thing in your life as well. So we can't limit the money line only to the money part. So when the money line breaks on the line of head, it means troubles that the person is likely to face around that particular age. Now the money line does start around the age of 34 again, and then it progresses, and then it is reaching around the age of 44. Then again there's a changeover around the age of 44. So these are going to be few changes that the person can experience around those particular years of her life. Now, one more thing I need to add out here is that although the headline is very straight out here, but before the age of 35, this portion is before the age of 35 on the headline. So you would notice that the clarity of the headline is more after the age of 35. Before the age of 35, you would notice, I'm just zooming in so that you can see it much more clearly. I'm just reducing the size of the marker. So there are small branches that are hanging downwards from the headline, pointing a little bit towards the base of the palm. So downward branches on the headline is considered to be a little bit kind of a negative sign. It could mean something like mental disappointment that the person can face before the age of 35. So this is what the right hand is showing. I just try to take a look at the left hand as well. On the left hand also, you would find that this is the line of head, and on the line of head there are few backward kind of lines, something like this, pointing towards the area of Mars negative area. Mars negative area is the area of anger, aggression and fire. So any line moving backwards from the headline, or we can say a line from Mars is kind of entering and touching the headline, it could mean fire entering your head. And the chances of it, what it basically means is anger would enter your head and the person is likely to be very, very angry. So that's when the person can make mistakes, and that's when the decisions could go wrong. So this is one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at the relationship apart is looking at the heart line. On the heart line, a simple heart line is the best possible line. A simple line means just a simple line without any flaw on it. But in this case, what we find is that the heart line is kind of breaking out here, then a new one develops, then there is an island-like formation. This is an island-like formation. So these are multiple island-like formations that are there on the line of heart. Heart line tells about how good our physical condition of the heart is, the first thing. It would also talk about how good our relationships are, how stable our relationships are. So island basically means emotional isolation. So this is what it could mean. It could also mean something to do with heart related issues or eye related issues. So this is the second thing. The third thing could be that it could just mean elongated period of emotional stress and anxiety that the person can face. So these are a little bit negative. So the person needs to handle the relationship in a much better way, and do not get emotionally isolated. Be around people. This is going to be my suggestion. Strengthen your heart. Strengthen the physical condition of your heart. The break on the line of heart could mean an abrupt ending in a relationship or a partnership or the work that you're doing. So this break is not such a good sign to have, and this break could also mean an abrupt ending in the work that we are doing. So this is another way of looking at it. The good part about the heart line is that the heart line is kind of ending somewhere closer to the area of Mount of Saturn. This is the Mount of Saturn. It is not, some people, they may have a long heart line, but in your case, the heart line is not very long. It is kind of ending on the Mount of Saturn. The heart line that ends on the Mount of Saturn basically makes a person more realistic, more grounded, and they know the ground situations very, very well. So the heart line ending under the Mount of Saturn gives much more wisdom, responsibility. So these people are highly responsible. They value money, they respect money, they pray for money, and that is the reason why they would be able to accumulate more money in their life. So in this particular way, it is a good sign to have. And see, some people, they may have a long line of heart would mean very, very idealistic kind of people. But I wouldn't say that the person is very idealistic. I would say that the person is a very realistic kind of a person and a grounded person, and the person knows the ground situations very, very well. And a short heart line makes a person less emotional compared to if the heart line was much more longer. So in that way, see, there are flaws on the heart line, and the heart line is short. So that is the good part. Because the heart line is short, the effect of these island like formations or any negative things that I might have mentioned may be comparatively less compared to if the heart line was much longer. Now we take a look at the carrier line. This is basically the line of carrier. Any line moving towards the sun mount is considered to be the carrier line. Now the carrier line, if the carrier line is deep and clear, see, I would just mark the sun line again. So this is the line of sun. Normally, if you go by the palmistry book, this point, the starting point is roughly out here. It's going to be roughly 30 age. This is going to be 33, 35, 44, 53 and beyond. So this is what the book basically says. In my case, I normally say that it's not necessary to have a long sunline. Even a short sunline can be equally good. But the quality of the sunline should be good. By quality, what I mean is there should be depth in the line and clarity in the line. If the line is a little bit dim, so this portion, you would notice that the line is a little bit dim. Even this portion, the earlier portion, is not very deep and clear. And this portion comparatively becomes much more deeper and clearer after the age of 53. Now, when the line is present, we normally say that the person is lucky and the person would have good name and fame. This is what we would generally say. But I normally would say that if the sunline was much more deeper and clearer, the person would have much more clarity in the work that they are doing. When the line is a little bit dim, it basically means that there would be doubts and self-doubt within this particular person, and the person may not be able to fully energize their work because on their path, let's say you are driving the car and on your path there's cloud and smoke, so you wouldn't be able to speed up your car at a great speed. You have to slow down your car. So it's always better either have no sunline, or if you have got a sunline, it should have depth in it, depth and clarity in it. So the clarity is much more present after the age of 53. So this portion is much better. There's another saying that suddenly a person cannot become successful at the age of 53, after the age of 50. So if some people just have a line out here, and I normally would say that for the whole life the person can be successful if you have got good clarity in the sunline over out here just below the finger. So I've told you different options as well. Now I need to add one more thing out here, is that when we are talking about the headline, the length of the headline is long. In comparison, the heart line does have few flaws, some negatives on the heart line, but those flaws in the heart line get minimized because of the strength of the headline. See, whatever we are doing in our life, there are two things that are playing out constantly. It is your head, your thought process, and your feelings that are there all throughout your life. So when decisions are being made, these two are coming into play. Your feelings and your thought process is coming into play every time. So if the headline is strong, the weakness of the heart is taken over by your brain. The strength of the brain is going to overpower the weakness of your heart. So that is the reason why even if there are any negative signs on your heart line, it would not play out in a major way in your life. They would play out, but not in a major way in your life. Now on the heart line, the similar indications, I won't repeat. Island like formation out here. There's two or three islands out here, and these are branches over the heart line. Those are leaning downwards. Branches upward is good, but downward is a little bit negative. So these are the lines of distractions, falling for temptations, not being able to commit to yourself completely. But these branches, because they lack in strength. See, some people may have a very long line, long branch over the heart line. That is going to be much more negative compared to a shorter and a weaker kind of a branch that you see out here. So that's the reason why these small branches would distract a person to some degree, not a major degree, but I would advise this particular person to commit themselves, dedicate themselves completely to one thing. That's when things can become better in your life. So it is my advice, and reduce all the stimuli from your life, like all the distractions from your life. That's when things can become much better. Now when we take a look at see, for money matters, you have to look at each and every portion of your palm. Apart from the money line, you should also, this is the money line, you should also look at the Mercury line. This is the line of Mercury out here. And there are many other lines also. Those are kind of pointing, running parallel to the main line. And on the mount of Mercury also, you will find multiple lines out here. See, these lines, these multiple lines means multiple set of skills that the person is going to possess. One line means one skill, multiple lines means multiple set of skills that the person can possess in their life. And you need not have these many lines out here. Just one or two lines is good enough for your success. See, people who are successful have got something common, and those people are good at communication and good at calculations. Now these calculations can be in any field. It can be in the field of business, it can be in the field of medical science, a doctor, engineer, computer science, social media networking, computer coding, law, physics, chemistry, anything and everything is this particular area of mount of Mercury in palmistry. And this is a very important portion of your palm. Perpendicular lines out here could also mean, the book says that the person could be a good doctor or the person could be a good healer. But I would say that the person just has got multiple set of skills, and the person can use their skills to make their life much better. Now, if these lines were a little bit more deeper and clearer, I would have said that those skills are much more sharpened at a very high degree. Comparatively weaker lines would mean that the person needs to master their skills even further. So if they master their skills even further, things can become better. You'd also notice that there's a triangle-like formation. This is called the money triangle. This is the money triangle, and it is considered to be a good sign. Although I would say that it is always better to have got less lines inside the money triangle. The lesser the lines, the better the quality of the money triangle becomes. And see, money triangle is something we need to explain why a money triangle is considered to be good. A money triangle is formed by three lines. The line of head, the thought process. You need to have a strong headline. It means basically it is required when you're doing any work. And if this headline is broken up into pieces, some people, they may have got broken up into pieces headline, it would mean mental breakdown, those kind of conditions. But you notice that the headline is very strong out here. The second thing is that you need to have a good money line. So the lady does have a strong money line. Yes, it is breaking at the age of 35, but before the age of 35 it is fairly strong, so it is a good sign to have. If it was broken, we would have said losses and those kind of things. And the Mercury line is also there, although it could have been better compared to what I would rate. The best hand would have a perfect line. Now, it is not the best kind of line that the lady possesses, but yes, it is there. So it would have had in the past a good effect in her life regarding the money part as well. Now I'll just take a look at one or two more things, and let us take a look out here. And this is the lifeline. And on the lifeline, in the early portion doesn't mean very early portion, I would say this point out here is around the age of, let's say, 30-35. That's the approximate age, I would say. Few lines are pointing towards Jupiter and few lines are pointing towards Saturn. So it's something like consider lifeline nothing but a river. I'm just removing the lines. Consider the lifeline to be a river out here. And if a line is joining into the lifeline, so these are very, very good lines. These are called the luck lines. It means inward movement in your life. Inward movement, you are gaining something. If the lines are pointing from the area of Jupiter, it takes you to a high position. If it points towards from the area of Mount of Saturn and joining the lifeline, it would mean money entering your life, because Saturn is for money and Jupiter is for power and position, respect and honor, and this is for Saturn is for money, possessions, wealth, wisdom and responsibility. Then you notice many lines, these are kind of leaning outwards. And normally you won't find these particular lines at such an early age, and they are pointing towards the area of Mount of Moon. Now, what is Mount of Moon? You have to understand. Mount of Moon is a changeable planet. It is changing phase on a daily basis. So, and it see the moon. The effect of moon can be seen in the ocean as well. So, the tides are there due to the ocean, due to the moon. So, branches from the lifeline moving towards the Mount of Moon means the effect of moon comes into your life. Already the effect of moon is more on a woman compared to a male, and this effect is much more out here. This is also the area for reproductive area. This is the moon area, the motherly feeling. This is also this particular area, and this is the area for energy, love, beauty, those kind of things, the Venus area. So these lines could mean restlessness, because moon is changing on a daily basis, so restlessness can creep into that particular person. The person desire of travel may increase manifold. The person and when we say travel, we would say that the perception of this particular person's life may change in a major way, and these things are happening at an early age. Early age means around the age of, let's say, 40 and going forward. These lines could also mean, these branches over the lifeline could also mean trouble below your lungs area, the water area in your body, sometimes kidney or other portions that I've already mentioned. So these are the things that the person needs to be a little bit careful about. Now, I know many people who have these lines and they're leading a very, very healthy kind of a life. So I wouldn't say that these are very major things, but slightly I would say that if some issues come up, so you should be a little bit more careful in that respect. These lines could also mean sometimes health loss or wealth loss that the person can experience. So those are the things that the person needs to be a little bit careful about. And in the left hand, you'd notice that the length of the Mercury finger is not touching the top line of the ring finger. This is the ring finger and this is the Mercury finger. So whenever the Mercury finger is substantially short, I'm not very certain if it is short or not, but it is appearing to be short out here. So if the Mercury finger is very short, it would mean that the person would create, or the distance would get created between their near and dear ones. Mercury is the planet for communication. Mercury finger is something like a communication tower. So there's a short communication tower, there's a long communication tower. So what's going to happen is people who have a short communication tower, they would be having trouble receiving the signals and emitting the signals. So they wouldn't be able to receive and emit the signals. Probably what's going to happen is that people who are far away from you, you would be able to emit your signals in a very good way to them. It's something like unknown people, you can communicate with them in a very, very effective way, and not with one but multiple people, maybe 50 people, 100 people, you can communicate in a good way. But when it comes to very near people who are very close by to you, people who are standing very close by to your tower, that's where the signals wouldn't be able to reach them, and you wouldn't be able to receive their signals. So I would advise that person, try to communicate with your near and dear ones in a good way. And you may say that the other person is not communicating with you in an effective way, but I would say that these things can show up like right from an early age. It's not that these things are coming right now only. These things can show up right from an early age. So if they have been constantly affecting you, so try to understand it could be your flaw instead of the other person. So I would just end the video out here, but before I'm ending, I'm just taking the last look at the hand, and if I have to contribute anything else out here, and let me just take a look at the right hand as well. This is the right hand, and these small lines that you find on the area of Mars negative, although they are not very deep and clear lines, but still, because they are there, I'm just explaining to you. It would mean these are lines of oppositions, line of trouble that the person can face in their life, although because they lack in strength, so they would have lesser impact on you. If they touch your lifeline, they affect your health. If they touch your headline, they affect your mind. So they are affecting a little bit to some extent. More lines out here, the person's temper would be out of control, and the person may get angry over wrong issues. And too many lines over the Mercury area means that the person is not able to bring their mind to rest. So I would advise a person, try to rest your mind, try to declutter your mind, so that would be much better for you. And here I would just end the video. Thank you for watching this video. Bye and take care.